just thought this was funny. So I saw on I don't know this world too well. I saw Joke World mention that Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee were on Complex's show. You seem to know who that was when I mentioned it.
It's an extremely huge sneaker show.
Yeah, and sneaker culture, I don't personally get it, but it's massive. It's like a big, you could say similar to watch culture, I suppose. People take it very seriously. People spend a lot of money on it. So Andrew Santino and Bobby Lee were on this guy Complex's show. Gets a ton of views. And something particularly stood out to me. And we'll play a clip and we'll talk about just why. You might watch the clip and say, Mike, why are you playing this? It doesn't fit your usual brand of topics. And I'll explain it to you. Just wait.
They're bad for me for sure. I do feel a little guilty being in here with all of this.
Why?
Because Bobby's family made most of this stuff, and I feel like that's
by hand,
rubbing it in, you know?
By hand, and also
you can hear the whispers of his nieces and stuff.
Well,
it's
no,
so bad.
We paid them a lot, 18 cents an hour.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But benefits as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we give them
that shoe means a lot.
rice balls. You like rice balls?
No, you said Italian. Yeah,
yeah. Rice balls are sweet.
Italian,
Yeah.
And then, you were like 8 years old in that photo. What do you think you were wearing when you were 8 years old?
Barefoot.
Barefoot, really?
On an island, yeah. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, when you're coming down the hill with all that rice, you can't have shoes on. You slip.
Yeah.
You got to have some traction.
And, when you're jumping off of rooftops, you know what I mean? It's better with no shoes.
Really?
And trees, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because when you're battling, other, ninjas and stuff, you know what I mean? Exactly, dude.
Yeah, you got to have.
Yeah, so that's Andrew and Bobby being very funny. I thought Andrew had some funny lines in there. Not particular. It doesn't leap out at me as anything crazy, but I noticed. I said Andrew and Bobby are in front of an audience that isn't really theirs. Yeah. It's a big audience. These people spend a lot of money on sneakers. They take it very seriously.
Like I said, Eminem does this show.
Right. There's a whole culture around it, and sneakers don't necessarily bring comedy. If you're talking sneakers, you don't say, "Oh, that's ripe for humor." Right. Yet Andrew and Bobby were able to bring something to the table. And the reason that stood out to me is because I thought, that's odd. That's an odd approach for comics to have. Because I've seen comics do shows like this, where a guy who specializes in a certain piece of apparel brings a comedian on. And I thought comics were supposed to take it very seriously.
Yeah.
Like that. My only real introduction into this world was Tom Segura. So let's see how it's supposed to be handled. Unlike, Andrew and Bobby are goofing around, getting in the way. This is how comedians should approach shows like this.
High pieces, but even what you have on your wrist today, you're showing me.
Yeah, this was one of the ones that, because I was going to show you some stuff that I like watches. I like all watches, but watches
how did you get into this in
with
general?
Stories, watches. How I got into it, I think even as a kid, I wore watches, regularly. I had a Seiko, but I just was like into it, and I guess saw timepieces. I'd love to get that one day, and then some of them have been able to, but this one in particular is meaningful to me. This is my dad passed away a couple of years ago, but
good, that'll be fun.
At one point, he was in the hospital. And he had a bone marrow transplant. It was this huge deal. And then he got better and got out. And he lived a few more years. But at that time, I gave him this watch. It's a Jaeger Le Culte.
I say Jaeger.
So he stole it from his corpse.
That's true. Yeah, why does he have it back? So that's how you're supposed to. When you're on one of these shows, you take it very seriously. You tell a sad story about your father dying.
Yeah.
You talk about how much you love timepieces in a very snobby manner. You attempt a French accent. That's what you do. Quit joking around, Bobby and Andrew.
Yeah. I remember when Bobby was like, this is very good foot cushion.
No, Bobby. You're not supposed to. Take it seriously. Talk about different leathers that you like. So if you don't remember, we played this watch video of Tom Segura's a few months ago. And it really leapt out at me as the example of why Tom Segura has lost his way and lost touch with his audience. Like, Tom seems to think, I've heard him talk about this many times on his podcast, where he's like, oh yeah, people think I'm out of touch just because I make a lot of money now. And it's like, no, that's not it. Andrew and Bobby make a lot of money. And they went on a show where they're spending a lot of money. and yet they made jokes about it. And you see Tom in the same type of environment, and he's like, "Oh, well, it's actually really interesting. I've always really appreciated timepieces. Seiko watches, particularly, are what I had my eye on for a long time."
My dad died. My dad died, and I very carefully took this off his list.
Yeah. If you weren't laughing already, my father passed away recently. All right, so let's get another example of how not to approach comedy from Andrew and Bobby.
One pair of Jordans. Why can't we get you one pair of Jordans today?
I will never wear them.
No?
Yeah.
What was it like growing up in Chicago during peak Jordan era, though?
Well, it's 50-50.
It's totally by him.
It was 50. He's trying to do a fucking show.
No, your section's coming up.
I have a section?
Yes.
Oh, I thought you were only doing it to him. I was like,
No.
See, like they're shitting on the host. They're making the guy uncomfortable. They're doing bits. Frankly, it gets in the way of all this good sneaker talk. Tom, show them what they should have done.
Right? Come on, Tom.
So what are we looking for? What are you trying to find with this new piece?
So I'll say that like most of the time I don't gravitate towards leather bands. As of recent,
That's
really
my
have
dad's wearing
started
it.
to enjoy fabric bands, like different fabrics.
Okay.
I would say most watches I have are metal bracelets, you know? So, and I do enjoy that. I like weight and heft to that, but I mean, I'm open to an experience. This is the fun thing for me about being with somebody like you is that you know so much more than me that it's fun to get the education. So I like that part of it.
It is fun. It's fun. It's fun to be educational on a watch program. It's not just fun, Tom. It's important.
Ma'am, you didn't pass out the homework.
So it bugs me that Bobby and Andrew are going on this massive platform with Complex, and they're joking around. They're goofing off. They should be asking about different laces, different tongues on the shoe. How does that adjust your comfort?
Shoes, Joel.
That's off.
Yes.
Yeah. How did Joel?
No, I just know that he gifted you those.
He did. He didn't give me these ones.
Okay, but did
He gave me a style that I didn't like.
Oh, I thought it was Golden Goose.
It wasn't. Yeah, but like this is what is this?
That's a Yeezy as well.
Okay. What is this? Asics.
Yep.
Right. This is Asics, right?
Yes.
Notice that this Asics is different than this Asics, right? So if you like this Asics, this color format, right? You might not want this one.
Okay.
So he gave me the wrong color.
What did he give you?
Like camo, like you know what I mean, some camo ones. It's still in the closet, but yeah.
Okay.
How do you know that?
I just know.
He's like Nardwar. of
Okay,
shoes.
I know, but can I ask him about his eyebrows?
Please.
Okay.
Wait, what's wrong with them?
Because I know that.
No, we've been talking about it.
Yeah, we were talking about it all day,
Driving me
and
fucking
it
nuts.
drives me crazy too.
Okay,
You know
tell
you
me.
shave here, right? Let's be honest.
No.
Yeah, you do, dude.
Shave
You're one
the
of those.
middle?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, let's move on.
Okay, let's move on. But is it true that
He shaved this morning. And
I know
look at
he
all the
did.
stubble right already.
Dude, you're a hairy fuck, dude.
Hairy,
no,
dude.
is
You
it
can't deceive us. You're a hairy fuck.
Hairy, dude.
I shaved 2 days
Let me
ago.
see your chest.
Yeah, let me see your chest. Yeah, honestly, chest it out.
They shaved
You
it.
shave it.
No, I
yeah.
didn't.
Yeah,
Manscaped. Yeah. Look, this is pure. Look at this. Pure no hair, dude. It's called evolution, dude. Touch my skin, dude. Touch my skin.
There it is.
Yeah, now you have monkeypox.
Yeah.
That's okay. You're gonna die.
So is it true that people?
They're being disrespectful. They're ragging on the host. They're getting in the way with all their silly bits. And frankly, that was a full minute. I didn't hear any talk about fucking shoes. Like, get back to the matter at hand. This is supposed to be educational. And guys, you have a massive audience watching you that isn't familiar with your stuff.
Right.
They're going to think you're goofballs. They're going to think you're guys that horse around and make jokes all the time. Isn't that uncomfortable for you? Here's what you should be doing when you're on a new platform that doesn't necessarily know you.
Look at that, yes.
You mentioned also maybe something with like more color.
Here's the thing. I mean, look, the thing about watches is you have to remind yourself to have fun. With it. People get so serious and they worry about like, you know, what the watch says, or is this the right one to as an investment, or it's like you just have to have a good time with the stuff, man.
Totally
agree. I don't care what is the trending watch or what. I just like having fun and like, oh, this is a fun piece to wear today. That's it.
It's all about expression. And
Yeah,
this is
it's
about
an expression.
art expression.
That's how you do it, guys. You don't have fun. You talk about fun as a concept and apply that to something that already just bursts out as fun, like watches.
I know this watch is 30 grand, but why would you think about it as an investment?
There really was. There was no reason to play that Andrew and Bobby stuff. I just saw it as an excuse because that Tom Segura video is one of my favorite douchey things of all time. Where he's like, honestly, just have a little fun with it. Have some fun with the different bands. Imagine all the fabrics you could test.
Yeah, I like the heft. Okay.
This has good heft to it. It just leapt out at me as like when I watched Bobby and Andrew on that show. And if you don't like Bobby and Andrew, it's not going to make you like them. Like they're just kind of doing what they do. But I really just appreciated the fact that they were comedians on it. You know, they got in Complex's way. They fucked with him a little bit. Like they had a good time. They didn't go, oh, that's really interesting. So you're saying the Jordan 1s, those go for a lot of money now. Those are kind of a collector's item. Is that what you're telling me, Complex?
Yes.
Take it. So that is where this is a lesson in comedy, Tom. You take it from me. I'm a comedic genius. Tom really needs my advice. But there is something to be learned here where you can go on a show and say, like, oh, maybe I'll fuck around a little instead of having. That is why people think Tom Segura lost touch, is because you can go on a watch show and you can have a little fun. You don't have to talk about your dead dad or different fabrics, you know?
Go to blindmike.net for everything Blind Mike. Look at me. I did it. Krager's did it.